it elite. Because I can't even call it wrestling anymore. Look at this clown. Look at this clown.
You were there, Tommy.
He looks. I call him a pencil neck. Look, his head and hair look like an eraser. I'm like, he literally looks like a pencil. And Tony, if your neck hurts that bad, why are you turning your head, you jackass? Oh my god.
I can cut a promo, baby. I can sit right there if you want a Dusty Rhodes promo. That's right, Daddy. I've wined and dined with kings and queens. I feasted on alley and pork and beans, Daddy, if you will. I can do an ultimate.
Ric Flair.
A little bit of flair. Look at that, man.
10 pounds of gold, baby.
Look at that belt, bro. Look at that robe, more importantly. Now, that's a robe.
Yeah. Dave LaGreca, that is a robe.
Yes.
That's that crap that you have on. That
Fuck
is
Dave
a
LaGreca.
robe. Thank you.
Welcome, everybody, to Friday night. Tonight is Fight Night. Right here on the Yankee Rebel Wrestlecast. Below me is the Flex Man himself, Yankee Tommy. I am Rebel Brian. Welcome to the show. Please put the gun show away, sir. Please put the gun show away.
Sorry.
There are children watching. Please put away the gun show. But we are live with another episode. You can't hold us down. We're always going to be here. And we are excited about the show. Yes. I believe in Joe Hendry. Yes. Oh, it never gets old.
It doesn't.
Why does it never get old?
It ages like wine. It just gets better with time.
It just goes to show you that some guys were designed to have great matches, but an even better entrance.
Hey, that's half the battle sometimes.
And he's getting so much slack. I mean, it's like everybody, all these big wrestling writers and everything, they just hate it. They hate it. And I'm like, why? This is why we watch wrestling.
They're just jealous because they were never this popular.
And if you're watching us on Twitch and YouTube, you'll notice this week I don't have a hat on, but Tommy does.
I swear,
and it's totally freaking me out.
I swear it wasn't planned. not even close.
It's freaking me out, man. I mean, like, it's like you took my persona and I took yours this week.
Ooh, yeah. Dig it.
I am more pumped this week than Hogan at the Republican National Convention.
Oh God, we gotta bring that. We gotta bring that up. We really gotta go there.
Trumpomania is live, brother. Trumpomania is live.
Jesus Christ! I never thought I would say the name Donald Trump or Trumpomania on this damn podcast.
Hey, we got to understand. The only time I will ever talk about politics on this show is this statement right here. The reason that Donald Trump did not die from the gunshot wound because he is 1-0 at WrestleMania.
That's fair.
And he got to shave Vince McMahon's hair.
Hey, not many people. No one can say that besides old Trump.
That's it.
Wow.
Love him or hate him, he is 1-0 at WrestleMania.
He is.
And he hosted a WrestleMania.
True, but then again, so is Michael Cole. So
That's a good point.
I
could go the rest of my life without seeing Michael Cole in a singlet.
Yeah, I do feel bad for the King though in a way because that man, whether you love him or hate him, that man was was and is a legend in the wrestling business and never really got a Mania an honest chance. I mean, he was way over the hill.
One day we're going to have a show about how many stunners has Stone Cold put on people and how many different people. He has like a Michael Myers count of putting people in the stunner.
You mean that guy right there?
That guy right there in your creepy ass area where you broadcast every week. But let's get into some wrestling tonight, shall we? And we're going to start things off with Monday Night Raw. And as if you're watching us on Twitch and YouTube, you're seeing the picture on the screen of the current
El
champion,
Campeon.
El Campeon, and Gunther, which
the future
this kind of just
champion.
Sets up everything because Gunther is smiling. Damian Priest not so much because he got it handed to him promo-wise on Monday night.
Oh, my God. He got eviscerated. He got absolutely eviscerated. He was called street trash.
Street trash, man.
Street trash. And literally said, he told Damian Priest, if you didn't watch, that Damian Priest is the reason for Damian Priest being on the street. It's like, it is a choice to live on the street.
So we have Randy Orton, that's the legend killer. We have Gunther, which is the dream killer.
Literally.
Oh, I love it, dude.
But, dude, you got to admit, that was some of Gunther's best mic work that they've actually like allowed him to go. I mean, you could tell that was straight from the cuff. That wasn't scripted. That was allowing a man to actually be creative and go off on a tangent. And it was great.
It totally was. And Gunther's already acting like the champ. And here's my question is what's going to happen with Damian Priest once he does get beat? Is he going to go back on the shelf? Is he going to go back to mid card? What's going to happen to him? I mean, the only thing that I can see happening is setting up a feud between Finn Balor for the rightful leader of the Judgment Day.
I was just going to say that, but that's if there's any Judgment Day left.
Yeah.
Because Dominic and Rhea are fighting.
Mommy's pissed.
Oh, she's mad. I mean, I wouldn't want to be in front of a mad mommy. That is for sure. But she's not my mommy. I'm just going to say that. Y'all know, if you listen, you know who our mommy is.
Absolutely. But I do have to give Liv Morgan some credit. She literally busted that promo wide open on Monday night. This little persona that she's doing, like, I'm cute, but I'm really deathly evil. It's working so good for her.
Well, dude, she's like the girl next door in a horror film.
Absolutely.
She baits you in with her looks and her charm and her sexual appeal, and then off with your dick. Just off with it.
She's like Miss Rose from Sleepaway Camp in the 80s. God, I can't believe I went there.
Yeah, you did. Yeah,
but Raw was fun as always. I mean, it's always fun, and I enjoyed the show again. I mean, whatever they're doing in the back, they are literally giving us the most entertainment that Raw's gave us in a lot of years.
Well, yeah, and dude, if you think about it, Raw always used to have backstage segments. Raw and SmackDown always did. And they didn't always really do anything or have an impact. Every single backstage segment means something.
Yeah.
You know, like it carries into the story. It's not just to fill time. It's to add to the story. So it's like you literally can't miss, a single second of it.
I could not agree more, and it's just fun to watch right now. It's so fun to watch. And I get excited about Monday nights again because let's face it, Raw used to be the super show, dude. It used to be the main show, especially because it's always 3 hours long. SmackDown had its heyday back in the Rock days, the fist coming out of the out of the Titantron, all that stuff, but Raw's starting to start showing some supremacy again.
I I so wish they would bring that back
I
because
do
that
too.
was literally the best. But but yeah, Raw is head and shoulders above SmackDown right now, and I think a lot of that's just due to SmackDown's lack of big talent. I mean, you still got Bobby Lashley on the shelf. You still got I'm pretty sure didn't Giovanni Vinci get
He
drafted
did.
to SmackDown? He's nowhere to be seen. Not that he's a
Well,
big
he
time
got he
player,
got injured, I think, due to Sheamus and all that stuff. And
but like you just got a lot. And, oh yeah, and obviously the rightful tribal chief Roman Reigns is still absent from television. So you got some big names on SmackDown that aren't even there currently. So I mean, they're doing what they can with what they have, but is it enough?
are you the same way I am when you watch SmackDown? That whenever the Bloodline is out and they're dominating, you're waiting for that music to hit.
Yeah, except I know it's not going to come on a SmackDown. But I'm even getting less and less hope that it's going to happen at SummerSlam because of the whole Randy Cody thing we talked about last week.
It's getting deep, dude. He
It
said he said
just
I'll always have your back. You can't trust the Viper.
literally never. Anytime he says that, he turns on you. It is his MO. He turns on anybody and everybody to get what he wants. He turned on Bray Wyatt. He's turned on literally everybody. Triple H, all them.
So it's I don't think we'll see Kevin Owens because of his mother's medical condition and stuff for a bit.
Well,
But
I don't know if you saw they posted a thing on social that she's cleared. Like
oh, okay.
she had her sons just keep fighting shirt and like something like mom's all good or something. So I think she's heading home. So you might see him. I wouldn't be surprised since she's in the clear of whatever was going on that he wouldn't be there. But I mean, there's a chance he won't be. I I just think these next 2 weeks leading up to SummerSlam are pretty imperative.
Yeah, well,
That
we don't have we really I mean we know it's going to be Cody and Solo.
but you got to think that at some point there's got to be some stipulation where not to get off on too much of a tangent because we're trying to talk about Raw, but that you got to think that at some point there's got to be some stipulation where like bloodline bar from ringside, Randy and Kevin, so just mano a mano, or make it like a steel cage or something to kind of up the ante.
Let's do Hell in a Cell, bro.
Oh,
Oh,
oh man, can you imagine like in the middle of the Hell in a Cell match, like ladies and gentlemen,
yes.
and the building just blows off the place? Oh my lord.
But what I love about wrestling is Roman held the belt for so many years. We were tired of it. The music would, which we didn't because that's our tribal chief, but for the majority of the people, everybody was like, "This is crazy. This sucks. This he shouldn't have had the title this long." But we know when the music pops, this crowd is going to go absolutely bonkers.
Well, dude, I mean, right now it's like I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it because when that music hits and you see him strut out, I mean, if the arena is going to erupt, it's going to explode because they know that the tribal chief of the bloodline is here. Do you think they're gonna do something to where, um, like Jimmy and Jay come out, they kind of get wasted, and then Roman comes out, or do you think he comes out and then kind of adds to it later?
I think they come out with him. I think over the course of the next few weeks we're going to see Jay stray away. Which the thing with him and Rhea Ripley cracked me up.
My! Did you
And
see like the post thing afterwards? He was talking with Jackie Redmond talked with him,
yeah,
and then talked with Rhea, and she goes, "Does Jey Uso have your number?" And she went, "Yeet." So I just thought it's just a fun little side thing that that's going on. But
my
um,
prediction, Nostradamus here. Dominic will help Liv retain.
I could I
That is
could
that
I
is
could see that.
my prediction.
I could see that. And last thing before we go to our next topic on Raw, I envision at a WrestleMania or something when the bloodline comes back together, the OG bloodline. I just imagine the Usos coming out and doing their old song and their old little come on Samo, come on
Yeah,
like do that, and then their whole thing goes, and then their new song hits, and then they do their thing, and then Roman comes out to his tribal chief entrance. I just think that would be so perfect to kind of, because they've been doing it well where they kind of go back to the past and bring up the old stuff to connect the stories. And I think that would be a great full circle moment for Jimmy and Jay to have with Roman too.
I totally agree. Totally agree. It would be so dope, and I miss the old Uso entrance.
It was so good. It was so good. And if they could kind of bridge, that entrance with their new one, I think it would be so dope. So dope. But I digress. Our next topic, we have DM Hunk and CM Punk.
Pepsi Phil. Pepsi Phil,
Pepsi
as
Phil.
Danhausen would say. Pepsi Phil.
you know, is it me or is Drew McIntyre just looking more and more like a big dummy? I mean, for as elegant as he would be speaking and telling people what they're doing wrong and their head's not in the game, this man's head ain't in the game.
Yeah,
He's letting his emotions get the best of him. Like he told Seth Rollins. You're letting your emotions get the best of you. You gotta stop. What is he doing? He's just spiraling downward.
yeah. He's lucky to still not be suspended.
Well, that leads me to I have a prediction for this
Let's hear it.
match. And it dawned on me after their segment that, McIntyre is now suspended again. The only way I could see them having this match at SummerSlam is if it is unsanctioned. You have an unsanctioned match between Pepsi Phil and DM Hunk.
Yes.
That's really the only way you can go about this now, because if he was suspended, brought back to possibly lift it, gets hot headed, gets suspended again, how else are you going to have this match? Because it's like Shawn and Triple H. Like they had to have it unsanctioned. That's really the only way you can have this match happen, because it doesn't make sense to unsuspend him beforehand. So you're going to have to make it unsanctioned.
Agreed. We're agreeing a lot tonight. That scares me a little bit.
I don't like it. Stop looking at my sheet, man. Stop stealing my sheet.
Well, also, we need to look at the fact that Dragunov and Sammy match was a banger on Monday night.
Dude, Dragunov has banger matches. Like, I mean, honestly, he is so good. He's so good in the ring. And I
Triple
honestly
threat?
love. Yeah, so I honestly think that Sammy tried to obviously push Braun Breaker out of the picture and give Ilya a match. And I think what Braun did last week was basically interject himself back in there to really force a triple threat match. which is essentially going to be a handicap match if you think about it, because
Yeah.
they're both going to be going up against Braun Breaker. But triple threat rules, anything goes. So, I mean, I think this is a perfect opportunity where if they really want to protect Sami Zayn, have him get the pin on Dragunov, Braun Breaker, that is. That way Sami can bitch and complain some more about whatever he wants to bitch and complain about this week. If it's not the Alpha Academy, it's Braun Breaker, or I mean, you fucking name it, dude. God.
Well, again, Raw was amazing to me. It was very enjoyable. I actually loved the entire show, even with some of the filler matches. They're making me enjoy it again. And I think if they keep doing this, you're going to start seeing those numbers rising even more again.
Well, dude, just imagine when Netflix kicks off. Oh
Oh,
my God. Netflix is going to be going through the roof. And I think you may have heard that Netflix is getting all the PLEs too. So if you have Netflix, it's like, what the hell sense is it to have Peacock anymore? I mean, I still
well,
watch stuff on Peacock, but still.
we
I mean,
should have never lost the WWE network, but
dude, that
damn Europeans still have it.
well, that's a Vince, because Vince wanted money because he knew he was going to be out soon.
Yeah,
That's what that was. The network was perfect. I
perfect.
paid like, what was it, not like $9 or something a month?
$9.99.
Oh yeah, $9.99. Oh my God, that was so annoying. Where you can watch on the WWE Network for $9.99. Every 2 segments they'd have to mention it. But dude, I love the network, dude. In school, studying for tests, I'd have it on my computer in the background. You
Yeah,
know, just listen to stuff just to kind of calm me down, keep me focused, and I would do my thing. And I hate that they got rid of it because I love how the network was set up. And I'm gonna go on a rant here, but just
go
bear with
ahead.
me. The network was set up perfectly that you could skip to whatever matches you want. It had the start of the match and it had the end of the match. And you could just go to whatever match you wanted to go to, versus now you have to skip and stop, skip and stop, skip and stop. It's so fucking annoying. Like,
And skip and get to an ad.
yeah, exactly.
Skip and get to an ad.
And rather than just being able to watch it all and uncensored, by the way, too, because Peacock's been censoring stuff and cutting stuff out, and
Yeah,
I hope um, that somehow the library gets off of Peacock.
me
If the
too.
PLEs are going to be on there, I think the the content is going to follow as well. Um, but it was the worst thing they ever did.
Agreed.
Was get rid of the network, because the network was set up perfectly for WWE. And not to mention, I can't hardly find anything on that damn network. It's so hard to find.
Well, it's like
And
it's
I get
broken down
lost.
into seasons. I'm like, it's not seasons, it's numbered pay-per-views.
Yeah, but that's how they have to break it up. It's like it's dumb.
This
It's
isn't
dumb.
Law and Order. This is a wrestling pay-per-view that is done by years, not by seasons.
Yeah, well, technically they've been saying like seasons, but that's for like the Raw and SmackDown. Like, hey, we're having a brand new season. Like, after Mania is like a new season. Like, if you want to have the weekly television shows like Raw, season one, whatever, that's fine. Pay
Yeah,
per views, I want SummerSlam, earliest one to now.
yeah,
Just the years. I don't want season one, two, three, four. Just give me the years.
yeah.
Give me what I want. Give it to me. You have what I want. You're not giving it to me. Give me what I want.
Damn it, it's my money and I want it now.
Dude, still, but that Batista promo was one of the most underrated promos in my mind.
Oh my god.
Good
So
God.
let's jump into another wrestling promotion, shall we? And that
Before
is
you do, before you
yeah,
do, I want to put on my Nostradamus hat because I predicted this weeks ago. Chad Gable and the Creed brothers will come together.
you did. You
and they
did.
came to fruition and beat up on Bo Dallas to just have him laugh the whole goddamn time and be surrounded by his new family. So it's going to get deep. But, ladies and gentlemen, All Elite Wrestling has a new
And new.
international champion, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF.
I'm okay. So here's the way it is. I know you saw the breakdown. 8-minute match, 6-minute match, minute 43 match. This Osprey and MJF match went 59 minutes.
Sure did.
And MJF even got punched by a 7-year-old girl.
That was highlight of the match. You're getting punched in the gut by that little girl. Oh man.
But what a match. And I think we talked about this last week that you've got to put a title on MJF. And I guess Tony Khan heard us for once.
Wow. Pencil Neck Khan actually took some good advice.
It finally happened. And MJF is your new international champion, and I could not be happier.
Dude, so Bleacher Report gave this match an A minus. And some of the notable moments they have were MJF was still getting some cheers despite turning heel. Like, well, duh. I mean, everyone loves him. He's the best heel in the business, and everyone loves him. So, of course, that's going to happen. The initial exchange of counters and reversals was great, but looked like it was a little too rehearsed. It's not a complaint as much as it's just an observation. Then why even bring it up then? I don't understand.
Yeah, absolutely.
We could agree MJF's heel work is great, but they say the one thing that he does too often after someone shows a sign of injury is he slows down rather than get on the attack. They say he could be a little more intense in those moments instead of just smirking at the camera the whole time.
But that's who he is.
I know. I think if he was a little more aggressive with it and still did his smirking, or like just tweaked it down a little bit, I feel like it would be better. But again, that is MJF.
Well, look at
Better
the
than
80s wrestlers. Greg the Hammer Valentine did that all the time, dude.
Ravishing
Jim
Rick
the Anvil
Rude.
Neidhart.
Ravishing Rick Rude would do it all the time.
Yes, Honky Tonk Man. And he's basically just reinventing that early 80s nostalgia. You know, I've got my opponent beat down. I'm going to go ahead and gloat about it for a minute. That's his persona. And
A la Ric Flair.
oh, Ric Flair, same way.
Yeah. But he's got the Roddy Piper mentality.
Yeah.
He can talk the talk, he's gonna walk the walk, and he's gonna be the toughest match you'll have.
And Roddy Piper gloated a lot too.
Sure did. Some of the other notes, Ospreay was selling his knee injury like a pro, even the way he was only walking on his toe to make it seem like he was keeping weight off and made it look a little more convincing. The garbage can spot was equal parts dumb and hilarious. The fact that MJF used Crossroads and a Styles Clash in that match. And you remember the shot where MJF was bragging to the camera, and then out of nowhere you see Ospreay hitting him with a hidden blade. I thought was a perfect spot that they couldn't have timed that better. And then last thing they have is the way MJF landed on his feet after a reverse Hurricane Rana almost an hour into a match was very impressive. And so was Ospreay landing on his feet a moment later. So just the stamina in these two, that they basically put on a 60-minute match and didn't really seem to break a sweat for all intents and purposes. So, I mean, I thought the match was great. It was probably the best match that AEW's had all year.
Yeah.
It was essentially free. So that to me is a little, I would have saved it for All In, but Again, I
Oh,
don't book this, and Tony's the greatest booker ever. So, um,
in which multiverse?
ain't none of the ones I'm in. That's for damn sure. Oh, any last comments on MJF before I jump to a topic I really don't want to talk about?
No, he's just the man, and I'm still disappointed he didn't go to WWE.
Yeah, I think in the long term, internally, he'll never say it, but I think he's gonna regret it,
Yeah.
especially because Raw's going to Netflix. Can you imagine MJF on uncensored
Oh,
Netflix on Raw? Good God. I think he's gonna look back because I still don't know how long his contract is. I don't know if it's a 5 year, 10 year, whatever. But at the end of his contract, if he still resigns with AEW, it's gonna be like the whole Sting thing. What if? What if MJF went to WWE? What
yeah.
if he, But anyway, next match was Sasha Banks. I'm not calling her that stupid name. Sasha Banks versus Nyla Rose for the TBS title.
Oh, you mean bathroom break match?
Yeah, that one. That one. The one that most of us probably didn't see. So just give you some highlights in case you did take shitta during that match. Um, I mean, it was to me it was dumb because basically you had Big Bill, Brian Keith, and Jericho were out for their TV segment. After a couple minutes, Suzuki came out holding a contract for the match next week, which honestly I could care less about. And then next, Sasha Banks out to defend her TBS title against the Native Beast, Nyla Rose. Um, it was a bullshit match. You know, obviously Mercedes, Sasha Banks came out and won. Britt Baker did show up. It was the best part of the match. Just pushed her. And then, of course, Mercedes and Sasha running like a freaking dumbass coward. Um, but some notable moments, I guess the Acclaim were shown asking Mark Briscoe and Swerve if they could join Team AEW. Okada getting sweaty, watching Mercedes dance backstage. Oh. And then
Oh
Nyla
God,
Rose
dude,
yelling
it's
at Sasha Banks for a DDT, for trying to hit DDT was, I guess, kind of funny. But overall, you could have missed me with all that.
yeah.
I
Bearded
mean,
Dog just said in chat, AEW. I never heard of her.
of course not. But you know who you have heard of? Nia freaking Jax,
Oh my God, here we go.
Queen of the
Here we
Ring.
go.
Come at me.
I do want to
Next,
make one point on AEW though. Is
yep,
today they announced in Europe that AEW programming is now on Max.
I did see that. I think I sent you a picture of
Yeah.
that. It's probably going to be happening in the U.S. fairly soon. How dare
Oh.
you?
Oh my
You
God! Did
son
he
of a
just call
bitch.
Nia the Andre the Giant of WWE?
You son of a bitch. You listen to me.
Let's close this show out right now.
Listen to me right now. If we accepted call-ins, I would be calling you right now to come on this show. How dare you slander the Queen of the Ring? How dare you, sir?
Oh,
How dare you? You know
he's
what?
like the heel that just pops in and just drops shit and leaves.
I'm gonna. Yeah, he's like a shit. He just drops and leaves. Anyway, Bearded Dog, come on this show anytime. We're here every Friday. You know the time. Obviously, you're watching. Please come on this show. We need to have this discussion. Anyway, before we were so rudely interrupted,
I love it.
next match on the card.
Did he really just say I was shit in the corner of your room?
You know what?
Oh.
I'm not even going to dignify that with a response. I'm not even going to dignify it because I'm better than him and he knows it.
Oh my God! Here we go.
Swerve Strickland versus Okada. Champion versus champion. Brian, what were your thoughts on that match? Because
I'm
you
pretty
know
sure I
how
fell asleep.
we feel about old Swerve.
I'm
Watch me swerve when I
I'm
try.
I'm just gonna be honest. I'm over Swerve Strickland. I've been over Swerve Strickland. It is time. If Bryan Danielson does not win the title at All In, the state of the world heavyweight title with AEW is done. I don't think he's been an impactful champion. It doesn't matter if you're bringing in Okada. It doesn't matter if you're bringing in Penta. It doesn't matter because it's that he's somewhere in backstage has this thing with Tony Khan where he's not going to lose the title.
Well, dude, not for nothing. Obviously, TNA is a lesser brand than WWE and AEW. Would we agree?
I'm enjoying it more, Tommy.
Well, yeah, and I like their champion more.
Yes.
Moose is a better world champion than Swerve Strickland is.
And he's been champion like 75 times.
And he's on a, a show that has a lot less money than AEW does. But the fact that they make Moose look like an actual champion and treat him as such, and Swerve, again, like you mentioned, has literally no impact.
None.
People who might not be huge wrestling fans have heard the name MJF. I can guarantee you, no one who, unless they're an AEW mark, like Bearded Dog, or they're not like a legit hardcore wrestling fan like you and I, don't know who that is. Which tells me, with a company that has 50 shows and literally, just does nothing with all of them, for that matter. I mean, it's honestly terrible.
Yeah. I hate him as champion, and I'm just gonna drop that. I hate it. It makes me, other than MJF, it makes me not even want to watch the show anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally, you watch MJF. To me, I think TV time with Chris Jericho is fucking funny.
Well, yeah, I mean Jericho's always going to be a good draw,
But
and
it's like half the show is like, let me go take a piss or let me take a nap or get something to eat. Like, it's nothing I want to watch.
that's
Nothing I
sad,
want to
bro.
watch.
It's sad because
Yeah.
they've got so much potential.
I mean, they have more talent than WWE does, and WWE is doing more with the talent that they have. Oh, all right, hit it. Hit it.
His name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. Cause
Yeah.
Paris, Tokyo, America, Scotland, Canada, and Mexico. They say,
I believe in Joe Hendry.
I
I
believe in
believe in
Joe
Joe
Hendry.
Hendry. Hey!
Oh, hang on.
Milo!
Amen. He appears.
I believe in Milo.
Joe Hendry.
I believe in Milo.
Joe Hendry. London and Paris and
High five.
Tokyo, America,
Yeah!
Scotland, and Mexico.
Milo believes in Joe Hendry.
I believe in Joe Hendry. Oh, we can't help it. Can't help it.
Milo believes in Joe Hendry.
There's our future broadcaster, Milo, right there.
He's grabbing the mic.
Talk to us, Milo. Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
He's
Oh,
like,
don't
Swerve
eat it.
Strickland isn't who we want. We want Joe Hendry.
We want Joe Hendry. You tell him? Okay. He said his piece.
But I do have to admit, as we keep up this awesome picture of Joe Hendry up, if you're watching us on Twitch and YouTube, unfortunately, if you're listening by podcast, you get to see our really cool pictures. So it's your loss, but that's okay.
Sure is. Because Joe Hendry is right now the hottest thing in professional wrestling. You
Hottest
tell him,
commodity in wrestling today.
So I encourage anybody, just look up some older Joe Hendry promo videos and stuff, man. They are gold.
Solid gold.
He's remixed. Yeah. He's remixed In the Air Tonight by Phil Collins. I mean, it's just legendary. Yeah, da. He's just legendary. And the man is going to be on NXT, and I think he's going to sign with WWE. That's just inevitable.
Yeah. If he doesn't win at Slammiversary, which we'll get into Slammiversary later, but good God, I'm right there with you. Good God.
Good God Almighty.
That man's got a family.
See, this is part of the perks. If you tune in, you may or may not get to see Milo.
That's right.
I mean, you may really hear
world champion.
Yep. See, I think we have our third guest commentator.
Absolutely. So talking about NXT, we did have a few things happen on NXT. Femi retained, which is a beast.
Oba Femi is just out of this world.
He is a beast.
Dude, he's literally like Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know we've said that about Breaker, but physically, like aesthetically, he is like Brock Lesnar. I mean, did you see the F20 that he hit on Wesley? I mean, he could have kept spinning, you know?
Well, Wesley don't weigh that much either, so.
No, but still, it was just fun to watch.
But we also had All Ego. Ethan Page retained against Chin. We also had a big fight between Roxanne Perez and Thea Hale, which is probably setting up for the next NXT pay-per-views. But when are we going to see Joe Hendry back?
I mean, I think if possible, he's going to try to make it a weekly occurrence.
Yeah.
Really? You think so?
But not a bad NXT show this week, and just really banger matches, and it's keeping you in suspense. I think that Ethan Page is doing great as world champion. And if I'm Tony Khan right now, I'm kicking myself in the ass for letting him go.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's showing you what we all knew he had the potential to be.
Yeah.
He was never really given the spotlight or the chance.
Yeah.
So.
Well, he and Shawn Spears.
Yeah.
And even Pillman, for that matter.
Yeah, Lexus King. So, yeah, I mean, I still think that segment was cool between Cody Rhodes and them backstage. I think that was a pretty cool segment, and just goes to show you why even NXT is better than AEW at this current moment.
Well, I mean, we got to remember that NXT was whipping some ass there for a while, and also, AEW started picking up numbers, but that was long forgotten. So I'm just thinking that NXT is on a resurgence, And NXT is going to continue to be on a resurgence because Shawn Michaels is doing it right. He's taking new talent that a lot of people have never heard of before and making them superstars.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I
And
can't disagree with anything you just said.
the TNA crossover's not hurting either.
No. And for those people out there, because I've seen a few who have said that, oh, WWE's just doing this to help them and it's screwing out TNA. No, it's not.
No.
TNA is getting way more views and I'm sure subscriptions onto their streaming service because of this exposure. Because people are seeing them, they're like, oh, I like Joe Hendry. I like the Rascals. I like Moose. All these guys. So it's like, oh, guys, and Jordan Grace. Because Jordan
Yeah.
Grace is phenomenal too.
Well, let's not forget about Nick Nemeth, a.k.a. Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah,
We've
that'll
got
be interesting.
Mondongo. We've got the Hardys. We've got all those guys. What's up, Robert?
And yes, I thank you, Sizemore Sparkle, for mentioning that because that gives me the idea that I think we need to make some Milo 2024 shirts.
That's after we buy the Trumpomania shirts, baby. Trumpomania's running wild, baby.
Oh, here he goes again. But is he your hero? He's not my hero. God. I swear.
Oh, God. It's killed me. I mean, Hulk Hogan literally did a wrestling promo at the Republican National Convention, and I cannot stop laughing about it.
All right, I'm not gonna lie. I did watch the clip probably about 10 times in a row because I just thought it was funny that he like I said he literally did an 80s Hulk Hogan promo.
Yes.
Ripped his shirt with the Trump Vance shirt on, and then they pan to Trump, and you just see him just giggling and laughing like. I'm like, so what is it now? Is Real American going to be Trump's campaign song now?
It should.
You'll see him do that?
But here's the funniest part about it, though. Imagine if you're in another country and you're watching the Republican National Convention and you see Hulk Hogan on stage, bro. That's the equivalence of like having Chuck Norris or Arnold Schwarzenegger on stage. You're not going to screw around with that country because Hulk Hogan is on stage ripping shirts and talking about you shot it at the president and I'm not going to let that stand, brother. And I'm like, whoa.
I mean,
whoa,
can you
whoa.
imagine? Can you imagine though if like Hogan was at his apex and something like this happened? Can you imagine then if like Prime Hulkamania came out and said that? Like, I don't think anybody like. For example, like if that happened to like Ronald Reagan or something when he was on the campaign trail, and all of a sudden you see Hogan, Reagamania, baby, like.
But I enjoyed it. I know that Hogan gets a lot of slack and a lot of people are like, I'm done with Hogan. I've seen it on Twitter X all day. I'm done with Hogan. I was done with Hogan and all this, but dude, you have to admit, as a nostalgic wrestling fan, that was some fun shit to watch.
It was. It's just I think about it, I'm like, did I really just watch Hulk Hogan at the Republican National Convention endorse Donald Trump? What am I watching?
Oh.
Oh,
But let's talk about one of your other topics, and that is the almighty yeah.
Yeah.
Dummy.
With everybody saying L.A. Night.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is time. It is time. It is time. It is time. We have seen LA Knight come so close so many times to being a champion. Whether it's the champion, U.S. champion a few times. Time for LA Knight to be United States champion.
Put the strap on him.
Give the brother the strap. Because this man has worked too hard, too much, and is way too over for him not to have a belt already. And Logan Paul, I'm sorry, people want to shit on Brock Lesnar for doing it. They better be shitting on Logan Paul for being a part-time champion.
Logan Paul
Especially,
sucks.
yeah, that shirt up, pretty fine.
That's right.
But it's SummerSlam. LA Knight is long overdue. Logan Paul doesn't show up. Put the belt on somebody that everyone wants to see and can actually help elevate himself to world title status.
Agreed. I mean, this to me is possibly the last chance that LA Knight's going to have to get a title.
Yeah, I mean, we said the same thing about Jey Uso because at this point he's literally locked in as a tag team wrestler at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, he hasn't even won a IC title.
No.
Like at what point are you going to give him a push? He's main event Jey Uso and he doesn't even main event anymore.
He's selling T-shirts. He's selling glasses, just like LA Knight's selling T-shirts. What happened to putting straps on guys that are so over that they're in the top 5 of your most T-shirts and merchandise sold?
Yeah. Yeet.
Yeet. Which I get pumped when he comes out because his entrance is hella fire.
Yeah. But there's nothing behind it. It's just like at this point he's just a great entrance.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. But yes. I think Brian and I can both agree that if LA Knight does not win, we will riot.
Oh, no question. I mean, I'm gonna lose my freaking mind. Oop.
But yes, this is the SmackDown preview since we are 8 minutes away from SmackDown kicking off. We got Cody Rhodes kicking off SmackDown after he got viciously beat down by the fake tribal chief and his bloodline.
What do you want to talk about?
I think you know what we all want to talk about.
Yeah.
Oh, Logan Paul set to make an appearance. It's about fucking time.
Holy.
Jesus Christ, he can actually show up to an event.
I think that the Andrade Carmelo Hayes match is going to be a banger tonight.
Yeah, that's going to be one that probably will steal the show because it'll probably be the only. Because Michin, she's great, but I don't really see her winning many integral matches. Like, she ain't beating Tiffany Stratton. We already know that. At this point, to me, she's like the female Shawn Spears.
Yeah.
That's literally how I do have to.
Like I said last week, though, I do see her more relevant, and it's only because she shows more skin. And since she started showing more skin, she's won more matches.
Oh, Robert said prostitution at its best by WWE, making that money, not handing out rewards where they are due. I mean, can't really fault him for saying that. But however,
tell me when I'm telling lies, Tommy.
I know. I've said that multiple times. Thank you, Pepsi Phil, for that quote. But yeah, I mean, as we all know, sex sells.
Yeah.
Sorry, it does.
But if you're Tiffany Stratton.
Well, I mean, yeah, she's showing more skin than really anybody. But
she is one bad move away from showing the world her nannies.
Yeah. But to play devil's advocate and defend WWE, though, I'm sure that is something under the Triple H regime that Michin had to agree to or want. You know, I mean, I'm not gonna assume that it's being forced upon her, like that's been said in the Vince era. I'm gonna have to assume, unless I'm told otherwise, that that's something she wanted to do. So
I
making the wardrobe department sweat. I believe in Joe Hendry. Canada and Mexico. I believe in Joe Hendry.
yes,
I
it never
believe.
gets old.
Literally never.
Never gets old. Well,
Oh my.
I want to go ahead and head into my rant because not really my rant. I'm just we had this amazing talk earlier about uh Slammiversary and everything as well. And I am truly excited for this pay-per-view on Saturday. I'm definitely going to get it. Um we have got a six-way elimination match for the TNA World Title. We have Josh Alexander versus Frankie Kazarian versus Nick Nemeth, aka Dolph Ziggler. We have Steve McLean. We have the champion Moose, and we have Joe Hendry as a possible new TNA World Champion. Imagine the boost of his career if Joe Hendry wins the world title at Slammiversary.
If that happens and he comes into NXT, you're gonna have two of TNA's world champions on their show.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And I can see
So
that title being defended in other places. I mean, just even maybe even on NXT.
I mean, is it ironic that half of TNA's roster is ex WWE guys and gals?
Well, we do have a Knockouts World Title of Jordan Grace versus Dana Brooke, or AKA Ash by Elegance. We have Mustafa Ali versus Speedball Mike Bailey. I just love saying that. I don't know why.
You were just like
Speedball Mike Bailey.
you were just like Samantha Irvin, just giving him a whole new spin on his name just to
Oh, I
make him
love it.
different.
I wish I could announce a guy like that. We have AJ
Chelsea
Francis.
Green.
We have two titles on the line. We have the digital media and the international heavyweight wrestling championships. AJ Francis versus PCO. We've got world tag team titles, the System versus ABC. We have the Rascals versus NQCC, the No Quarter Catch Crew, which this guy looks like a young Nicolas Cage.
And that
A match,
is and that is William Regal's son, Mr.
yes,
Dempsey.
but this match here is possibly the match to me that could steal the show, and that is Matt Hardy versus Fandango. I'm sorry, JDC. So these guys could put on a banger match if they try. We have Mike Santana versus Jake Something. We have the TNA Knockout Tag Titles. We have Slamovich and Edwards versus Spitfire, which is what I did in the bathroom a while ago. And we have Kushida versus Jonathan Grisham in his Abomination Hulk mask. And then we have a four-way knockouts match between Tasha Steelz, Apache, Shaw, and Brookside. This Slammiversary is looking to be a good pay-per-view.
Yeah, I mean it's got as many matches as every AEW pay-per-view, so I don't know if I want to go down that rabbit hole if I'm TNA, but I mean
Yeah.
you got some good matches on the card. Can't
Well,
deny
this is
that.
their WrestleMania, really.
That's true. That's true. That is their WrestleMania.
But
That's
we we are trying Monday to get tickets to Emergence, which I told you earlier. And that's going to be a show in Louisville, Kentucky. So we're going to try to get tickets for that, and just so we can see Joe Hendry. So that's going to be the big thing for us. But what's your rant tonight?
Well, I don't really more so have a rant per se. Um, I'm just honestly just loving everything that I'm seeing with literally every promotion. It's just wrestling seems to be getting better and better each and every week. Besides AEW with a couple things, but that's neither here nor there. I'm just excited with that, and also this week, um, I got my ancestry results back.
Nice.
So I just want everybody to know that when Joe Hendry mentions Scotland, Canada, and Tokyo, he's talking about 21% of me. Joe Hendry, Joe Hendry is speaking to me. I just want everyone to know that. Granted, if you combine the 53% of me that is English and Northwestern Europe, which for you movie lovers would be like Austin Powers, and you combine the 21% of Scotland, I am 74% Austin Powers and Fat Bastard.
You
So
can keep the money. I'll take the baby.
I've had bigger kernels of corn in my crop.
Well,
But yeah, it was just ironic that literally my second highest percentage is Scottish, and it wasn't even on my radar. But then Joe Hendry made me love myself again. So
Joe
thank you, Joe
Hendry makes
Hendry.
us all love ourselves again.
Yeah, and he made me believe even more than I already do.
Yeah, and I believe in Joe Hendry.
As do I.
I do.
We
I
here at
believe in Joe Hendry.
YRW.
I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. Cause he loves London and Paris, Tokyo, America, Scotland, Canada, and Mexico.
Scotland, baby!
I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry.
Well, us at YRW believe in Joe Hendry, and I think
We
he's going to
sure
be
do.
a mega star, and he's already heading that way. And it just goes to show you what a great entrance and interaction with the fans will do for your wrestling career. So people take notice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we are now right in the midst of SmackDown starting. We want you to go watch SmackDown, but thank you guys for tuning in tonight.
Been a
Yankee
great
Tommy
show.
is now Rebel Brian tonight. I'm Yankee Tommy tonight because we switched roles. He's got the hat, I don't tonight. So it's still
And
freaking me out.
ironically backwards too, like you've had
I
it.
know,
That's
I know.
that's really the weird part.
I'm showing my LeBron hairline tonight, but that's okay.
Oof. Maybe it'll grow
And
back like his did.
so a couple things tonight we want to make sure that you understand is that wrestling is in a great place. Yankee Rebel Wrestlecast is in an amazing place. We're cracking some numbers right now, and I want that to continue. So make sure you subscribe to wherever you get your podcast. Logan Paul still sucks, and so does Dave LaGreca. I hate you, Dave LaGreca, and I just want you to know that. And other than that, we're gonna call it a night. We're gonna be back with you again next Friday at 7 p.m. Please tell your friends, your family, and those that don't like wrestling to tune in because we're gonna make them wrestling fans before one day or another. So, and just like Tommy has his Chris Benoit figure behind his back, we're
Yep.
done.
Wow. Good God.
That was morbid as
Anyway,
hell. Why did I even say that?
I don't
But
know. But for Yankee Brian, I am Rebel Tommy. And before we go, I just want to say one thing. Nia Jax is life.
that
Thank you.
is. And you
Have a
don't
good
have to leave, but you ass can't stay here because we're done. We'll see y'all later next week. Again, Yankee Rebel Wrestlecast live every Friday at 7 p.m. and then available shortly thereafter on all of your podcast streams, Apple, Spotify, Amazon, and more. And we're out of here, bitches. We'll see you next week.
Bye.